It is a real thrill to welcome this performer to the show. He's danced for A-list artists like Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, Jennifer Lopez, Blackstreet, Aaliyah, Deborah Cox, Destiny's Child, and of course the one and only Janet Jackson. He was also one of the youngest choreographers to get nominated for an Emmy Award before he turned 21. Michael Andrews, welcome to the Kelly Alexander Show.
Hi, Kelly. How are you? Thank
I'm
you.
I'm good. I'm good, and I'm so happy to have you on the show because we've been really fortunate to have a lot of Janet's dancers on the show, and we have a lot of the Jan fam listening. So I know they're going to be very excited to sort of hear some of your memories. So thank you so much for doing this.
Awesome. No worries. I'm so pleased to be a part of amazing company.
Awesome. So I wanted to start off by actually asking you, where did you grow up and how did you get into dance?
Well, I mean, to make a very long story short, I always did shows in my grandparents' living room and danced and sang and did those type of things, but it just progressed into a love.
As a young dancer, who did you actually look up to in the dance world?
Well, I honestly, firstly, Michael Jackson was the first person I saw that was, just out of this world to me. It was magical to watch him. But at a point of time when Jan came around, I just felt that energy. It made sense for me in my generation
Mm-hmm.
at that time. And I would do shows to her songs for my family. I know they probably were done with me with those shows, but I continue to do them. Fast forward.
That's so crazy. Now, before
Isn't it?
it's so crazy. I can't even believe that you were able to do that and then actually dance with her. And I want to,
Right.
obviously get into how you met Janet. But what did you actually consider to be your first big break in the dance world? Like, what job did you get where you were like, yeah, I'm on my way?
Well, I'm not certain how to really pinpoint it, but I'd say it was a very small cluster. It all, the 6 degrees of separation, it all ran into Tina Landon, who I idolize to this day. I met Shawnette on a job when I was a youngster.
Mm-hmm.
And then shortly after then, we were cool and would speak, as dancers. And I went to an audition for Deborah Cox, and all the girls were a part of it. Tina, Nikki, Tish. It's the first time I met Tish, and she was pretty influential as far as her freestyle. And in my time, she is awesome. At any rate, that was my first time working with Tina, and I just kind of kept hold to her for some reason. So I'd say Deborah Cox with Tina Landon. That started it all.
That started it all. And then when it came to the Janet situation, because I think that Deborah Cox video was around like 1995 or so, right? So when it came
hmm
time to audition for the Velvet Rope project, did you have to audition or did Tina call you? Like, did she remember you? How did you get your sort of start to work with Janet?
My start with Jan was an audition process. Fortunately, I was able to know the girls already because I've worked with them as well as Tina. Yeah, I just auditioned in Los Angeles.
And did the audition take like did you have to do a couple of callbacks or did you get it right away?
It was a very emotional time for me because I had felt like my entire life was headed towards dancing for Jan. And so I'm here at the audition, and at this time I was working with Robert Vincent, Wiser, as some of the kids know him as, and we're in Japan. And I believe Robert may have had the job already, so it wasn't very many spots. The original girls were coming back, so it was really intense. But I got concerned because Robert said that there was going to be more auditions in New York and here and there and all this. But at the end of the day, after all the auditions, it worked out.
What did it feel like when you got the word that you had made the team? Like, what was your reaction when you found out, yep, you're going on tour?
Oh my God, I was like Mighty Mouse slash Superman slash Mr. Freeze. I felt like I could do anything. It was amazing at that moment. Absolutely.
And right away, when you got the job, can you talk to
Hmm.
us about what it was like to be in rehearsal for the Velvet Rope tour? Like, what were your days actually like? Like, was it full days of dancing and all that sort of stuff?
Well, the days were pretty standard. Tina would really work us out with the stretching and all those technical things, and then we'd get to work. It was very disciplined, I'd say. It was. I was very young at the time, so you have to remember, like, I was ready for anything. Like today, if Tina would pull that on me right now, it's like, oh my God, Tina, I know this routine. No, but she's pretty tough, and Gil has a tough side as well. So yeah, it'd be a little different now, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What was it like when you were actually learning some of those routines, like the routines for Rhythm Nation and the routines for If? Like, did they come fairly easily to you, or did you want to kind of rip your hair out?
Well, I want to tell you that if I knew that choreography already,
That's
well, at least the breakdown,
okay.
I knew that already inside of rehearsal. I mean, I was not as clean as the girls that have done it. I just felt like I knew it already. So I just had to get cleaned up a little bit.
And what was your
But
favorite?
Rhythm
Yeah,
Nation was pretty difficult.
yeah, that's what I've heard. Like
Hmm.
both Kelly and Nick said that that one's a really tough one because it's so intricate.
Yeah, and luckily I was fortunate enough to work with Terry Bixler. He came in and he was a part of the Rhythm Nation team in rehearsals, and he gave us clues within that Rhythm Nation era of how to hit those things and get it done, which was a great help. Love him, love Barry Leather, but Terry Bixler was a key opponent. He was there during the Velvet Rope, kind of giving us those things for that section.
Okay. And
Hmm.
what was your favorite song to perform on that tour? Like, what song did always sort of get you jazzed, no matter what night you were doing the show?
Well, my the vanity side of me, like the side that I think that I'm so cool, would be the initial, the Velvet Rope.
Mm-hmm.
When we have the hats and the clothes and everything's beautiful. But I really enjoyed Rhythm Nation.
Okay, that's awesome. And I wanted to talk to you as well about, because so many of us obviously saw the HBO special, where you guys shot that in New York, and I think a lot
Hmm.
of us still have that DVD. I know I do.
Right
And
on.
and I think
Yay.
yeah, I love that. And I think a lot of us, you can obviously find it on YouTube. And I know I love randomly just sort of popping on the throb section of that, and obviously it looked like you guys
Okay.
were having a lot of fun. Were you guys having as much fun doing throb and the freestyle aspect of it as we were watching you guys? Because it just looked like you guys were having so much fun doing throb.
Yes, Throat was amazing because I don't know what magic Tina has, but she's able to pull everything from everybody and make it work, and it just was a fantastic bubble of beautifulness with all of our styles together. But I remember doing Throb, Robert and I were partners. We would change our routine every night. They wouldn't know what way we were going. And to be given that type of freedom to create by the end of, some of the shows, by the time we got to HBO, we had already fell in love with one routine. I think Throb was the most fantastic company routine I could ever imagine, if you understand what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's nice to know that you guys, like I said, from an audience standpoint, it just looked like it was your time to play. During the concert, it was your time to have fun. So it's nice to know
Absolutely.
it was as fun as we thought. We saw watching it. For a lot of us that actually went to go see the Velvet Rope tour, as you'd mentioned
Hmm.
already, Tina is a genius, and the choreography, I think, is just, it's magical. That's not even a strong enough word. But especially near the end of the show, like I think I told this to Tina once in an interview, that watching you guys do Got Till It's Gone actually made me emotional because it was just so well choreographed and the music so amazing and so on, going into That's the Way Love Goes and then Together Again. Did it feel special to all of you dancers at the time, knowing just how well that show was being received by fans, and especially that, that ending part? Like, it was just so amazing to all of us watching it.
I'm so happy you asked me that, because I listened to Tina and Anthony and Kelly and Nick's interviews before I talked to you, and I was hoping I would be able to get into that. The Velvet Rope, to me, very long story short, was very emotional in a sense where Tina allowed us all to be ourselves and grabbed what she did and made a masterpiece. Like, I'm not certain if it can happen again in that way, but it was amazing. With that being said, I'd say that I don't know. I'm kind of speechless. I don't know how to compare the experience between the dance.
Did you guys know, though? Like, did you guys know as a dance group? Because I know when you're in it, sometimes you're in a bubble and you can't sort of see out or sort of know how other people are perceiving you guys. But did you have a sense that tour, like, it was really something special?
I did not know until, I guess, midterm. I was just so excited because, of course, I was finally with the Jan. I felt like my life plan. This is it. I'm dancing with Jan, and I'm a dancer. A dancer is very emotional in those ways, whether it's an artist or, stage type dancer. But working with Tina and Sean and Kelly and Nikki, it's like us guys were just giving everything. Like, they helped us so much. It was just magical. We're very fortunate to be a part of that story, for sure.
We got, I think a vibe, especially for people that went to the Velvet Rope concerts, like live in person. I think the vibe that we got as fans and as audience members was that all of you that were on the dance team were a family. Were you guys actually a family?
Absolutely. Girls will be girls, but as far as family, absolutely. It was pretty easy because Gil and I were in the same age range, so we kind of connected immediately. Robert and I grew up in the same neighborhood and went to the same high school. I mean, a decade apart, but we're kind of from the same area. And Sean was a fantastic sister, and Kelly and Nikki are awesome, and Tina is Mama Bear. So it was very simple.
Can you actually describe, if I say, someone's name, I want you to describe them in one word for me. So if I say,
oh my goodness,
I'm going to make
one word.
One word. I know it's going to be hard, but so I'll start with Mama Bear with Tina. How would you describe Tina in one word?
Mama.
Okay, that's good.
With an S and a Z.
And what about your buddy Rob Vinson?
Oh, brother.
Okay, Tice Oreo.
Tice Oreo is my super buddy.
Great.
So funny. Okay, I don't know what to say for him. Like, hilarious.
Okay.
Should be the one. Okay.
and
we have a similar hilariousness.
Yeah, you have do you have a similar sense of humor?
Yes, nailed it.
Okay, and what about Shawnette?
Oh my God, love her forever.
Kelly?
I'm speechless.
Gil?
I'd say friends.
Okay.
Actually.
Nikki?
Oh my gosh, fabulous.
Fabulous. That's good. I like that. That's very good. Now, did you know when you were sort of dancing, like, what did it feel like to sort of end up having your own fan base? Because, I've talked to the other dancers about this before, and they sort of, have all said that it was so crazy to sort of work with Janet and realize that, she was very giving and pushed you guys forwards. And then in the end, you ended up almost having your own fan base. You do have your own fan base. Like, the Jan fam loves all of you. So what did it feel like, seeing signs in the audience with your name on it?
I haven't really had any fans leave messages for me in the audience.
Okay.
I think that was like more Tice and the girls.
Okay.
But in general, the love that you get on the internet, which is, it goes either here nor there, how people feel about you, but the love that the kids, well, when I say kids, I mean the fans, friends, Jan fans, it's awesome. And it's inspiration to us as Jan dancers as well to see the positivity. It's amazing. I couldn't put it any better unless I pulled out a thesaurus or something.
Now, talk to us, Mike, about Janet. What was it like working for her? How does she make you feel when you were on tour?
I don't want to make it seem like, oh my God, I'm just saying Janet's the best, but my experience, I don't know, should I say this? Like, I flew private. I was in the best hotels and massages and things, so the experience as a job was immaculate. The relationships that I was able to attain in that time frame are forever. So I think it's a winner.
What would you say to Janet today? Like, because again, it's obviously it's almost 20 years since the Velvet Rope. I can't believe it, but it's almost there. We're like year 18. Now that you have all this life experience and you've obviously done other jobs, you worked with other artists. If you could sort of speak to Janet today, what would you want to say to her?
I would only say that I was thinking it's about time
for her to come back.
Yeah, it's about time. And that should have been the name of the album. It's about time.
Well, hopefully her team's listening, and she'll know.
No, I'm just playing. But really, all love, and so glad that she's in this place, and we're all in this place to connect again, and all that good stuff. It's awesome. And thank you so much, Kelly. You're awesome. It's not often that we can have this type of positive forum.
Well, I'm so happy to do that.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Out of all of the dancers, I'm sure I can speak for everyone. But it's awesome. You're awesome.
Well, thank you so much.
You're awesome. Awesome.
Well, I really appreciate that. That means a lot to me because you guys, I've said this sort of individually to, all the dancers I've had on the show so far, including the ones from before, like Anthony Thomas and Terry Bixler. You guys have all been so inspirational to me, and I'm sure I can actually speak for the fans in saying that, because I think that you guys were such light and such joy, and in my case, you inspired me to keep pushing for my dreams to do what I wanted to do in radio and television. And I'm sure a lot of other people can say that they pushed forward in the aspects that they wanted to do, because you guys were just so great to watch on stage together. Like all of Janet's dancers, you all brought something to that experience. So I think we're the lucky ones. And I did want to ask you, when the tour was over.
Kelly, you're killing me right now. Like I'm outside, like holding my chest. I'm trying to figure out like what to say. I mean, but that's so appreciated.
Well,
honestly, it is.
Well, we mean it, because honestly, I think what I've learned in doing these interviews with all of you, Janet team members, Janet dancers, is that I feel like it really is a special sorority almost, or fraternity, or group, whatever you want to call it, because I don't think other artists, have this relationship with their dancers where all of you mean so much to us and you mean so much to Janet. And, it's so great to sort of stroll down memory lane with you guys and hear what it was like, to be there during those days. Because, again, it was magical. All the tours, Rhythm Nation, the Janet Tour, the Velvet Rope Tour, all for you. The list goes on. I think it's just so magical for all of us. So thank you for everything.
Thank you so much, Kelly. You're awesome.
Well,
thank you very
thank
much.
you.
I appreciate it.
And I did want to ask you, when you finished up the Velvet Tour, the Velvet Rope Tour, was it difficult for you to adjust to normal life again? Because I know when I spoke to Tina, this was several years ago when we did our first interview, and she'd sort of mentioned when you come off tour, you're kind of like a little all over the place, because you're sort of used to this routine of traveling to city, and then you've got to be normal again. Was it hard for you to come back down to earth?
Oh, actually, I don't think I left from outer space, in all honesty. I mean, if you use that analogy, I'm saying when I came back, I was fortunate to get with the Aaliyahs, the Beyoncés, and the list goes on without giving a resume, I mean, but the top girls that are pushing forward, Jan's work status, I should say,
Mm-hmm.
it led a lot of doors open, and it was awesome.
I have to ask you about the Destiny's Child "Say My Name" video because for people that don't know, you're the cutie in the orange
Oh my
scene,
God.
which I actually just watched the other day because I was like I have to watch Mike again. I haven't seen this video in a while, so I went and rewatched it.
hmm
How much fun did you have, working with Destiny's Child?
Well, it was awesome fun to be treated as like the main guy and get fixed up and clothes and all that, and it was beautiful to see another inspiration come out. I was a part of something else again. It was amazing to me. It was like, wow. I mean, in all honesty, regardless to what might be popular at the time, but me coming off of Velvet Rope and doing certain things and then being the lead guy that time, I kind of felt myself. I felt good.
Amazing, and it's really interesting that you said that working for Janet kind of opened up other doors for you.
Oh, wow. Even to this day. So, right now, mostly I've been working with, newer artists. I've reconnected with, pioneers of the dance world, which I would love to mention everybody, but it's so much. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm just reinventing right now. I took a little time to get perspective of what I really wanted. And, this creativity that Jen just put out recently gave me a little bit of inspiration. In the past years, I've been uninspired with music
Okay.
completely. But, that goes without saying for some people, I'm inspired by music. I have to get it to feel.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now I'm gonna put you
And this
slightly.
feels good. No
This
sleep.
feels good. The no sleep feels good. That's awesome. If I'm gonna put you a little bit on the spot here, but if you look over your
Uh-oh.
career, and you remember your time, on the Velvet Rope tour and dancing with Janet, where does it rank, in your career in sort of list of importance?
It's absolutely number one, period. The things I feel that led me to Janet were very significant and awesome, and it made me meet the people I need to meet and dance and, progress. And then even after the fact, it maintained momentum. So it was, I can't describe how great it was.
Fantastic. And are you still in contact, by the way, with any of your fellow like Velvet Rope dancer friends?
Yes, everyone,
Great.
actually.
That's awesome. That's great. I think all of us secretly want to know that you guys are all still tight because I think it just gives us, happiness and joy and peace knowing that you guys are still friends.
I mean, aside from Tish and some of the other kids, Brian Friedman and the brothers, there is a slight fraternity, sorority. What
Hmm.
did you say
Yeah, I
earlier?
guess
Something like that.
yeah, like it's like a special group. It's like you guys have your own association.
Yeah, and I mean, I love everyone actually, before and after.
Awesome. And it was funny because you said that you listened to the Kelly and Nick interview and mentioned that it would be good to get you guys all together. Is that something you guys would like to do?
Absolutely. I would love to. Tell me where. I'll show up.
Very good. Well, I'm gonna make
I'm
sure.
gonna show up in something crazy,
Nice.
like a
I'm gonna make sure that Kelly listens
1920s
to this.
car or something.
Because Kelly's got to organize this, so I'm gonna tell her she has to listen, and the fact that you're gonna show up. So Mike, I really appreciate this, and people can actually follow you on your social media. I know on Facebook it's Mike Andrews, and also on Twitter and Instagram it's Mr. Andrews 8. So people can find you there. Correct?
Yes, ma'am. Thank
Fan-
you so much, Miss Kelly. I
oh,
really appreciate talking to you. You are awesome.
Thank you, Mike.
Awesome.
That is dancer and choreographer Michael Andrews. And again, don't forget to follow him on his social media, Mike Andrews, on Facebook, and again on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. Andrews 8.